Ladies and gentlemen, you've seen her on the Dr. Al Show, you've seen her on the Today Show. Make some noise for Terri Trespicio!
Hello there. My name is Terri Trespicio. It sounds Italian, but it is not. It is Filipino. And I was on a first date not too long ago, and the guy said, "Really? When we first spoke on the phone, you didn't sound Asian." And I said, "And you didn't sound short." Now, one of the resolutions I have made is I'm going to do less online dating and more in-person dating. So I went to an actual singles event. Now listen, there's nothing wrong with being on the market, but this is not Whole Foods Market with a lot of fresh, juicy stuff everywhere. No, it's more like Fairway right before a major snowstorm. All the good stuff is gone, and what's left is suspect. Certainly not something you want to put in your mouth. Now, I watch a lot of crime TV. Anyone a fan of shows like Dateline is a favorite? Love Dateline. You call it entertainment. I call it training. I've learned a lot watching that show. The side effect is I have Keith Morrison's voice in my head narrating my every move. She took the 2 train downtown Friday night, and she was never heard from again. It's like everything you do. You have to be careful. I'm a single woman living alone in the biggest city in the country. And when I was 13, I was given this piece of advice. If a man threatens you, unless you go with him to a second location, tell him to kill you right then, because what will happen at the second location is so bad, you'll wish you were dead. When I heard that, I said, "Thanks, Grandma." Absolutely keep that in mind. The thing is, when you're dating, the whole point is to get to the second location. That's kind of the point. And so, what are you supposed to do? There's obvious risks involved. Well, DNA is your friend. I touch everything. Touch tabletops, door handles, everything I can. I'll spit in the sink, pee a little on the floor. Some girls will leave an earring in a guy's place and they have a reason to go back. I leave hair samples so they'll know I was there. I keep receipts for things you don't need receipts for, like mints and gum and tissues. Why? Because if I vanish and I'm never seen from again and someone finds my wallet, I want them to know, well, that Tuesday at 10:49 p.m. she bought a tube of Crest at 72nd and Broadway. It's like my life has become a long love letter to a forensic pathologist. Now, online dating does have its benefits, for sure. One of them is the sense of abundance. There's always more people. There's always someone new, until there isn't. And I found this out myself recently when I swiped through so many profiles that I ran out of people. I didn't even know that was possible, but a little note came up on the app and it said, "Looks like you're out of options." Now go back and lower your standards. Again. Who's not lowering their standards are men. There was one gentleman I saw on there recently his name was Eric 47, and he was probably around 350, 400 pounds, had a shirt on that said, "I hate cats," and his hair looked like he'd been woken up by a fire alarm at 3 a.m. And you know what his profile says? "Seeking sugar mama, oral sex, no strings, smiley face." That's right, if you want a shot with Eric, you're going to have to pay for his dinner and then blow him. Seems fair. Now, I've actually been wearing glasses since I was a little kid, and I like glasses. I like how they look on people, and I liked this guy who wore these big hipster glasses, and I went out with him. Come to find out, they're not real glasses. They're just plastic. There's no prescription. And I felt like I'd been lied to. Like we'd spent the evening in wheelchairs, and at the end of the night, he just got up and walked away. my real complaint is about dating, since everyone has something they're complaining about. And mine is this, that the men in this city in particular take no initiative. You know why? They don't have to. The city is crawling with single women. You could go out in the street right now and throw a rock and hit a single woman. And I know this because I do it from time to time, just to keep the numbers down. You wonder why we love 50 Shades of Grey so much? No, we don't want to be tied up and horsewhipped, thank you very much. But at least the guy knew what he wanted. I would submit to being tied up and spanked on occasion if it meant the guy would pick a fucking restaurant. I know what my problem is though, and I'll say it. Simply this, I have dated too young, and that is my fault, and I'm correcting it. The problem is, when you date a young guy, it's like adopting a puppy. They're like so adorable, of course you want to take it home with you, but they are far more work than you realize. All the begging and the whining, and they want to go out every other minute. There's pee everywhere. Whereas, dating a divorced man is like adopting a rescue. Sure, they're a little banged up. They're so grateful to be given a second chance. Now, I don't have kids. This is by design, by choice. I chose this life. I'm totally okay with it. And yet some people think I'm making a really big mistake. And they're like, oh, but Terri, but you'd make such a great mom. And I say, maybe. And maybe you'd make a great correctional officer or rodeo clown. But you'll never know. And they say, oh, is it because you hate kids? That's not fair. I don't hate kids. I don't have a kid for the same reason most New Yorkers don't have cars, because they're extremely expensive and there's nowhere to put one. So I say, well, why don't you just have one? Like, just have one. Like, or hand out a plate of brownies. One's not going to kill you. No, okay, so let me think about it. Do I want to gestate a human in my gut for the better part of a year, squeeze it out in front of a room full of people, hand my life over to its care and feeding to the expense of all else, so my body collapses on itself, spend the next 18 years raising this child to function in society, should stream about $250,000, for which I'll receive very little but grief and the occasional bouquet of flowers, and if I do it right, he will definitely leave me for another woman. I don't think so. In fact, I'm shocked that my married friends take it so lightly. Like, you can have kids? Maybe, who knows? We'll see. If it happens, it happens. Really? That's what I say when I leave my house without my umbrella. On a day when there's a 30% chance of rain. And I'll still go back for it. So when people tell me, like, Terri, you really should, like, settle down at some point and have a kid, I go, you know what? You should really pursue your PhD in applied physics. And they say, well, why would I do that? Well, that's a lot of work for something I never really wanted. I'm Terri. Thank you very much.
Ladies and gentlemen.